Shalom, people. This is Brother Laos coming at you with another video. And I want to talk to you today about me and my wife and son's trip last weekend to the International African American Museum in Charleston, South Carolina, the abbreviation of which is IAAM. Not a coincidence that a museum talking about the real people of Yah, acronym for the museum would be IAAM. But a couple of years ago, when me and my wife had went on a tour with Gullah Geechee Tours in Charleston, South Carolina, or the Holy City as it is called by the tour guide there, Gullah Jack, which I do endorse his channel, Gullah Geechee Tours. He got a YouTube channel, and in fact, we also did another Gullah Geechee tour with Gullah Jack. This time with our son. This was our second one, and a lot of good information that the brother gives out. But several years ago, when we had first went on the tour with Gullah Jack, Gullah Geechee Tours, he had told us about the museum being built. Now, he is not a big endorser of it. I mean, and that's his personal opinion. I don't have any problem with that. But me and my wife, you know, my wife actually had been a member when it first started. We just never got a chance to go to it. So we had some time, and we decided that we wanted to go down to see it. And this is a plug for some of their apparel. I'm not being paid to endorse this, but I thought it was good to support them. So I bought the t-shirt. My wife got one and my son. And I also got one of their coffee mugs. And this is one of the designs on the back of it. I would endorse you going to this tour. It is located at 14 Wharfside Street in Charleston, South Carolina, the Holy City, as Gullah Jack calls it. Excuse me. Now, the first thing that you will notice when you come, to the museum is it's supposed to give you the feeling of when the slaves would have went up into the holds of the ship. And in fact, it's funny, the African American Museum there in Washington, D.C. is supposed to be the same way, where you start at the bottom, right, and you work your way all the way to the top. But it's a unique design, and apparently what some of the staff there said is that the Wharfside, that's one of the places where the slaves would have been unloaded when they came into Charleston, of which my fifth great grandmother, her name was Tracy or Lassie, I can't remember which one. The bill of sale a copy of the bill of sale that I have, when she was sold in Charleston in 1789, she would have been unloaded there, coming into the city of Charleston, which is, by the way, has been for many years one of the number one tourist destinations in the world, as Gullah Jack has showed us that billions of dollars is made every year from people coming there to Charleston to see how at one time a people could start a nation off the backs of the suffering of Most High's people who were under judgment. But again, we have to be able to divide the fact that, yes, we came into this country in a miserable state, right? But we also got to understand that if we don't try to understand or at least know some of the stuff that our ancestors went through, no matter how terrible it is. And you can only digest what you can digest. I'm not saying that you gotta eat the groceries in one night, but we do need to seek out and pass some of this stuff on, because especially with the AI revolution coming out, trying to rewrite everything, if we don't flesh and blood now get it out there, at least it'll be some opposition to when the races get hold to these AI programs and try to just put out so much misinformation, disinformation, that it'll be a wonder that they say that we asked to come over here. So we need to go and see these things right now while they're there. And that's what me and my wife seek to do. It's not always been that I had a desire to want to go to, African American museums and exhibits and all these different things, because just like everybody, I didn't, I didn't want to quote unquote dwell on our suffering, but it's not. It's our history. It's what our ancestors went through, and if we forget their story, we forget what they went through, right? Who will be there to at least give some credence to, hey, look what they went through, but their descendants, which is us, they were still able to make it, right? So as you go into the IAAM museum, of course, because of all the stuff that had transpired in the last couple of weeks with the stuff that happened in New Orleans, the security was very tight when we got there. So I don't know if it's still going to be that way when you go, but I would say just, don't, you can't bring your phone and all these different things, but, bring your, the tour of it is not, it's actually not a tour. I'm pretty sure you could get a guided tour if you want to, but it's basically you walking through it. It doesn't have as many exhibits as the one in DC, obviously, right? Because they have 3 floors. They have 2 of them that's got exhibits, then they got a 3rd one. But just like most museums, most of the pieces that they get from these museums are on loan from private collectors. So since they have only been in existence for a few years, they're not going to have that as much as you would see like the one in DC. But they do have a good amount of things. And as you've seen some of the short videos that I upload, those are some of the things of interest that I've seen. I have some more that I'm going to upload here soon. But I just wanted to talk about it to let you know it is a good tour to go on, and you will learn some things on it. They do have on staff there. They have an archivist and a genealogist. If you have basic information that you're trying to get, they was helping me out with a few things dealing with my 5th great grandmother, and kind of guided me along the way. If you have, like I said, but more intense research and everything, they will give you a card, and they say you can call them back, and for a price they can help you, guide you through trying to get your family tree if you have not started. I've already been working on Ancestry mine, so I was just coming to see, when I went to them, to see if they could give me any more information. And it helped me to give me some contacts of places that I could go to get more information on my desire to trace down all my ancestors and the ships that they came in on, and so like I said, the exhibits, they had a lot of not virtual, but they had a lot of visual interaction, as you can see with one of the screens that I was videotaping, and they had they was going through some different stories and different things like that. So you can get some good information. And they even talk about the Black Indians in there too, down in New Orleans. So it's kind of a broad thing. They talk obviously about the Gullah Geechee culture, which many of you know that my wife is a Gullah Geechee. They talk about that. They have a exhibit for that. But I would recommend that you do go to the IAAM Museum in Charleston, South Carolina, the holy city, as Gullah Jack of Gullah Geechee Tours say. And by the way, in on Gullah Geechee Tours YouTube channel, if you go there, we did do a little short tape with him. He does this with all people that go on his tours. So in it, you'll see me, my wife, and my son, and Gullah Jack talking at the end of the tour. And it is a good tour. Also, I would recommend that you go there and patronize the brother. And if you can, patronize some of the other Black businesses there, because they're being pushed out. Gullah Jack said that Charleston is probably one of the most gentrified cities in the country, but in the early 70s, it was called Little Africa, because at that time they was just starting to ramp up the tourism part of Charleston, and now it is so pulling in so much money that they don't. Even though you'll see these antique looking houses, these houses are worth multi-million dollars, sort of like what you see when you go to the exclusive places in California. Some of them places just burning down now, multi-million dollar homes. In Charleston, some of these Victorian age homes, these are, even though, like I said, they're antique homes, people live in them, and they're worth millions upon millions upon millions of dollars, because you understand that the foundation of this nation was built on slavery, and that Charleston was the beginning of it. It was the beginning of those riches. So you have some of the most wealthiest people in the country that have homes there, not because so much that they have money, but they are of the bloodlines of those that got the beginnings of this nation started on the backs of human suffering and the destruction of the indigenous people of this country. And if you go to the IAAM Museum in Charleston, it talks a little bit about that. And of course, if you go on Gullah Geechee Tours, Gullah Jack will definitely fill in a lot of the spaces for those of you that are interested in Black history. So once again, I want to endorse the International African American Museum in Charleston, South Carolina. Blessed.